Am I live? Looks like I'm live. Hey guys, sorry about that. I'm back. This is a mega fun fold class, and I had just started to do the first card, and I plugged my microphone in and it kicked the sound off. So I apologize about that. And this is the first card we're going to do. It's a bandstand card. My flowers came loose here, but it stands up like this and really pretty. And this was Blackberry Bliss. I'm using the Charming Day bundle, which comes out next week. Has fabulous dies, and we're going to make 4 different cards tonight. I already started with this card, and I'm going to just go over the measurements again with you. So if you're watching and you want to make this card, you can. If you purchase $50 worth of Stampin' Up! Product with me this week, and you want, if it's $50 before tax and shipping, you will get the kits for one of each of these fabulous cards, plus the PDF tutorial. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you the measurements so you know. And hi Maureen, thank you. Hi Gian, I hope I'm saying your name right. It's a pretty name. Hello from Oregon, nice to have you there. And let's see, if you're on Facebook, say hi. Tell me where you're from, let me know you can hear me okay. And so these are the 4 different cards. There's this one, and that's a fun fold. Wait till you see the inside. This is a fun fold, and this is a fun fold. So let's get started because it's going to take a little bit longer because they're fun folds. Alright, so this is the bandstand card, and we're going to start with a piece of Timid Tiger cardstock. Let me make sure the measurement's right. So this large cardstock piece here is 5 3/8 by 4 1/4. It's scored on each end at 3/4 of an inch. The designer series paper here is 3 5/8 by 4. I've adhered that to the middle section of this. And the 2 strips on the side here are 5/8 by 4. We've adhered those down. And now we have a piece of cardstock that is, let me make sure I've got this right, 7 by 2 1/2. I have scored this on the long side. You probably can't see it, but it's scored at 3/4, 2 1/2, 4 1/2, and 6 1/4. Okay, and we're going to cut this in half at 1 1/4. So I'll go ahead and do that because we need 2 of these strips that are scored the same way. So we're going to cut this right down the middle at 1 1/4. We have our bottom strip and our upper strip. Hi there, Sandy. Nice to have you there. And this is with a new designer series paper that's coming out next week too. It is called, and it is gorgeous, it is called Floral Charm. Pretty pretty. I'm not going to take the time to show that again. Before I fold this up, I'm going to add a designer series paper. Well, let me fold it so you can see the sections. So these 2 tabs on the end here, this one and this one, we're not going to worry about for designer series paper because they're not going to show. But the other sections, we are going to add designer series paper. Alright, and I have, these are 1 3/4 by 1, and they're going to go in the center on each piece. It is a pretty color. I like it. Some people, and it's really pretty for like summer and fall. Okay, so that's going to be centered right on there like that. And then I'm going to add the other one right here. In the center of this one. Like that. Okay, so we've got those 2 done. We're going to add 2 other pieces. 1 1/8 by 1 on each end here. 1 1/8 by 1. That's gonna go right there. I actually think that could be a little longer, but we'll go with it for now. 1 1/8 by 1. And we'll bring, I'll grab my other two little pieces here. We'll do this one. We'll center that right in there. Yes, Halloween. That is true. Okay, so there's those. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add these to our card base. And before I do that, I think I'll put the sentiment piece on the back. So we have a piece of basic white for the sentiment, and this is 4 by 3 3/4. And I am just going to stamp. So it's going to go this way. I'm just going to stamp one of the floral images on the back there, and this is a really pretty image, and I'm going to just stamp it in basic gray. And I'm going to bring my ink pads over that I'm going to be using so they're within reach. And I know I have basic gray out and I'm not seeing it. Alright, I'm going to use crumb cake. I think I'd like crumb cake better anyways, probably. Alright, so we're going to tap, tap, tap our little flower. I think I want them this way. And then you could color that in if you wanted to. I'll move this back over. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the back, and this is going to be where you write your sentiment. And again, this will fold up into a regular medium-sized envelope. Okay, so I think that's about right. Alright, so there's the back of our card. So these, what's going to happen is these are going to wrap around to the back like this. On our card like that. So we want to add our adhesive on these two end strips or tabs on each side. So we'll add some there, and then we're going to add some adhesive here. Alright, and let's see. So I'm going to lay these both face down. I'm going to line this up this way and go like that. And the same thing with this one. We're going to lay this down like this. And add our adhesive there. Like that. And right here. Has anyone else that's watching made one of these bandstand cards? I had never made one before. This one needs to be over just a little more. There we go. Okay, so we've got this on the front, and this is how the card is going to stand up. And at the same time, it will fold flat to go in an envelope. And I just realized I don't have my ring light on. I'm going to put that on right now to add a little light to the subject. Okay, and light. There we go. There's a little more light. Okay, now this die right here creates a beautiful die cut, this long one right here. And I've already done that to save time. And it is right here. Isn't that gorgeous? I think that is so pretty. So we're going to add this to our, I'm going to add it to this and that. So we're going to just add adhesive to the leaves here. Maybe. There we go. And to these leaves right here, just a little bit. And we're going to just hold that a minute on there, like that. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that to set, I'm going to stamp the sentiment. And I have a little circle that's die cut, the Stylish Shapes dies, and I'm going to stamp a thank you sentiment. Oh, let's see if this will fit on here. You made my day. Actually, thanks for being you. I think I'll do that one. Thanks for being you. And we're going to stamp that on our little circle here. It just fits on there. And I'm going to add this to the card, probably, well, I could add it there. Let's try adding it there. And on the other one, I have it at the bottom of the card. We'll see which way we like it better. Hi, Kathy. All right, so I'm going to fold that flat, add that on that space right there. And let's add some gems to this. So these colors are Berry Burst, Night of Navy, and Timid Tiger. And the Timid Tiger almost looks like the Petal Pink. And I'll get my Take Your Pick tool. I'll put one right here. Like that. Let's add one up here. And another one right there. Whoops. Okay, so that is card. Oh, we forgot one more thing. We're going to turn it around. We're going to cover these by putting these strips on. They're 5/8 of an inch by 4. Actually, I need to check that. It might be 7/8 by 4. All right, so that kind of covers that. I want it along the edge there. And then we'll add this one. And this is a nice card because it stands up. All right, so there's the back of that. If you're on, say hi. If you share, you'll be put into a drawing for something special. Usually a well-loved stamp set that's hardly used. I shouldn't say well-loved because it's not in bad. What I send you is gently used or new. Some stamp sets I don't even get to use. All right, so that's card number 1. And we're going to do card number 2. Okay, and again, this is a fun fold card. This is the card right here. I'll show it to you. I'm going to set that out of the way. Again, this is with a new set, Charming Day, that's coming out next week. And it has, the inside is like this, where you can write your sentiment. Okay? So we'll set that aside a minute. And I'm going to grab a white got some sticky glue on my fingers. Alright, and okay, so for this card, we're going to start with a card base. It's Pretty Peacock. It's an odd size. It's 10.5 by 5.5. Alright, and we're going to do some scoring on this base. And you can get these kits for free with an order of $50 or more in my online store this week. And the PDF tutorial. And the PDF tutorial alone is an $18 value. So, and if you order $75 or more, I will include a pack of these gems. And you earn host rewards. Alright, so we're going to score this at 4 1/4, which is right here. 5 1/4, right here. And 6 1/4, which is down here. Alright, so we have 3 score lines on this. I'm going to fold it, and we're going to fold and burnish our folds. Hi, Jerry. Fold and burnish like that. Then what we're going to do, I'm going to fold it the other way too, just to break down those fibers. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to push this middle section in, like that. So we've got a valley and 2 mountain folds. And we're going to glue this. And I would use tear and tape, or probably the liquid glue. Seal Plus would probably be okay too. Alright, so we're going to just hold that a minute. Let that glue grab those fibers. And while I'm talking, you guys, I want to, I came on the other live and I got kicked off, had a problem with the sound, but I had said that this Saturday there's a free virtual online stamping retreat, and you're free to come and watch. The tutorial will be for sale afterwards. It's with 3 other talented Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, Denise Clark, Debbie Hill, and Nancy Burt Priest, and myself. We will be doing Debbie is doing projects with Boho Vibes. Denise is doing projects with Celebratory Sips. I'm doing projects with Impressions Bloom, and Nancy is doing projects with Sunrise Sailing. So it's a private group, it's an exclusive group, and you just have to ask to join. So if you're interested in that, you can email one of them, or you can email me at vernastamps@gmail.com. We'd love to have you. Alright, so we're going to add a piece of designer series paper to the front that's 5 1/4 by 4. Isn't this gorgeous? I hate to even cover the back up. It's so beautiful. Beautiful designer series paper. Alright, it has roses, Pretty Peacock, Lost Lagoon, Petal Pink, Timid Tiger, Night of Navy. Okay, so now I have already die cut this oval with the Impressions of Bloom dies, and we're going to decorate this a little bit. We're going to add, I've already done most of the coloring on this just to save time, and I've used Petal Pink. Timid Tiger is the darker orange-ish color. On the leaves, I've used Lost Lagoon with Mossy Meadow. I never would have thought of using them together, but I really like that. It was in a tutorial. Someone had used those colors in their leaves, and I really love it. So I did already color this to save time, I do want to show you how I did the flowers. I just take the Timid Tiger and go around on the dark artist lines there. Like that. And then I'm taking a blending pen. These have a solution that helps blend those colors together so the lines aren't so severe. And you will see that it will look more blended. Alright, and we're going to pop this onto our die cut oval here with some dimensionals. If you're a demo and you have this set, I would love to know what you think of it. I love it. It's so summery and beautiful. Alright, so this is going to sit on here like that. And then I'm just going to adhere this with liquid glue. I like to use liquid glue on embossed pieces because of all the little nooks and crannies. We're going to add this to the front of our card like this, centered in the front. Isn't that pretty? And there's a sentiment in this set, a happy birthday sentiment. And I'm going to stamp that. And I think I will use Mossy Meadow. Let me see if I left it over here. There it is. I like the font in this sentiment. Happy birthday. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the two words apart and fussy cut around them and layer them to the card front. Hi, Melissa. Nice to have you here. Hey, Margaret. Hi, Anique. Maureen. Alright, so we're going to cut this right apart like that, and then we're just going to try to move the paper and fussy cut around that word. I might have got a little too close there. I guess it's not as bad as I thought. Okay, there's birthday. Where's our happy? Here's our happy. Can't believe it's almost July. I love the long days of summer. Love to get up early and have it sunny out, or light out at least. Okay, so let's layer this to our card. Let's do happy first. I'm using the small mini dimensionals. Oops. We'll do happy right here. Then birthday, let's use, I think we can use the large. Here's one, here's the other. Then we just have to add our inside piece. Alright, so happy birthday. And we'll come back and add some bling on the front. Okay, so for the inside, we're going to layer our cardstock right on this, and the piece that we're going to layer onto that is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And I have a piece that's 3.5 by 1 of designer series paper. I'm just going to adhere it onto my basic white cardstock. I cut it too short. Well, I'll center it. Alright, and then we're going to adhere this to this flap. Just like that. And I have a little die cut. There's a leaf die in the set, and I think that's so pretty. I'm just going to add that. I know, I love the roses too. We'll just add that right there, like that. Alright, so let's add our gems to the front. And again, I'm going to use the paler Timid Tiger. Or petal pink. They look more like a petal pink. Alright, so that is our card number 2. Happy birthday. So card number 3, I will show you that before we do it. This is an interesting one. I've never done one of these before. It opens like this. Isn't that rose pretty? That's one of the dies in this set. So, interesting card. It says happy birthday. So we're going to start with a piece of Night of Navy. This is 5.5 by 6 1/4. Alright, and I want to get my directions up in case, make sure I'm telling you the right measurements, and I have the right measurements. Alright, and we're going to score the long side at 1 inch from both ends. So this is our long side. So we're going to score it at 1 inch on this end. Turn it and score it at 1 inch on this end. Alright, and we're going to burnish those down good. You want to burnish them so it breaks down those fibers and it sits the way it should. Okay, so we have a piece of basic white cardstock, and this piece is 5 1/4 by 4. It's going to sit nestled right in here in the center. But before I do, I'm going to stamp a flower on there to use on the inside, and we're going to go with that other small floral image again. I'm going to use basic gray. I know that technically if you're using the Stampin' Blends, you should be using tuxedo black because it keeps the blends from bleeding, but I really like the softness of basic gray. Alright, so I'm using the basic gray. And I will just try not to get my blends over in the basic gray a whole lot. This is light fresh freesia. I'm just going to color this in this way. And you can see the tip on this one is almost going. I'm going to do Lost Lagoon for the leaves. And we'll come back and add a touch of navy. There's actually a touch of navy in the leaves in the designer series paper. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Alright, there's that. Let's bring in our navy. I'm just going to add a little bit of navy there. Alright, and the center of our rose, we need a little bit of a dark accent there. So let's do a little dark berry burst. I'm just going to go around gently like that. Alright, so there's our image. Let's add this to our card base. Alright, so it's going to sit in there about like that. Okay. Alright, next we have 2 pieces of designer series paper. These are both 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. And you want to cut them, you want to use 2 different patterns with this. So first of all, I've decided I'm going to use this on the front of my card. And I'm going to punch a hole in it. And I have my 2 1/4 inch punch right here. Alright, and I'm going to go, so this is hitting the edge of the paper. That's how far over I want it. And I'm up a little more towards the top of the designer series paper. Now we're going to save that circle. We're going to use it in a minute. So you can see that the circle's going to sit about like that. Alright, so I'm just putting this in the center of, actually I want to over more like this. So my circle will sit inside here. So I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive here. I'm going to center it on between the top and the bottom of this piece right here. Alright, and I think that this should be a little bit shorter because we don't want it sticking up right there. And I am going to try, let's see if I can get this out without tearing the whole thing up. Alright, so I'm going to take another 1/4 inch off this and mark it in the tutorial. That's going to be 5 by 4 1/4 instead of, oh I'm sorry, 4 3/4 by 4 1/4. Nope, I was right. 5 1/4. That'll be 5 by 4 instead of 5 1/4 by 4. I think this is, I'll put a little more sticky on here. Alright, so let's put this back down. There, much better. Okay, so we're going to take our circle, we're going to put it back in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on the back of it. Yeah, the roses in this paper are gorgeous. And the colors together are really gorgeous. And let's see, it looks like it might have been cut right there. Alright, so we, actually guys, this has got a, oh brother. We want this on the designer series paper, not the center of the inside. Okay, so I'm going to come back and fix that. So what we're going to do first is we're going to put our adhesive on, and we want this side up on this designer series paper piece. Alright, so I'm going to put my adhesive on the end here. Alright, now I want this lined up with the other one. Let's see if this is lined up. Nope, it's got to come down just a little bit. Think about like this. Over more. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to line it up with this other piece just like that and push that down, and it's showing a little bit on the top. Okay, let's see if this works. It's still showing a little. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to trim a tiny bit off. We're going to take a sliver off this. Alright, let's try this again. Let's line this up here. Alright, there we go. But this looks a little shifty, a little crooked. Alright, so now we're going to put the center down right here. Okay, because we're going to add a flower here and we want that background on there. Alright, and so I will come in and fix this. For right now, I'm just going to put a piece of cardstock over that. And I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off the top edge of it. I'll come back in and color that rose in later. Alright. I'm going to layer this right over that and make it go away. Okay. So now we have this so far. We're going to bring in that one die cuts this beautiful rose. It's just a single rose. Isn't that pretty? And I'm just going to add it plain white for now, just because of time. But I will show you how I colored it. It's kind of pretty white with fresh freesia, a little bit of berry burst, Lost Lagoon, a little bit of navy there, and went back over it with a Lost Lagoon. Okay, and I'm going to add it with dimensionals. We'll put 2 there. And then we'll use a couple of the mini ones on 2 of the opposite leaves. All right. Take the backings off. Okay, so now where do I want it? I'm going to put it about like this. Oh, that's so pretty. And then I have a die cut sprig of leaves. I have the freesia, or I have soft succulent or Lost Lagoon. I always want to say soft succulent. Which we could add a white sprig, and I'm not going to cut that now. But let's stamp our sentiment right here, and again we're going to stamp Happy Birthday using this is Misty Moonlight. I'm going to go Happy Birthday on our banner here. Okay. Now before I add that, we have 2 pieces to go on the sides here. They're 7/8 by 5 3/8, and they're embossed with a eyelet embossing folder, and they are going to cover our where our designer series paper is adhered to the card base. So we'll just add these. I'm going to add one there. Right, and then we're going to add one on this piece right here. And again, nooks and crannies, so I'm using the liquid glue. All right, so this looks like this, and now we're going to add our Happy Birthday. I'm going to use dimensionals for that. Okay, there's our Happy Birthday. And let's stick the sprig. Actually, I think I might do the freesia. I think I'll do it like that. Yeah, I think the plain white is pretty. Alright, and don't put glue on your upper leaves like I just did. Whoops. Get that glue there. Alright, and we'll add our gems. And I'll use the berry burst. Let's put one here. And then one up here. Another one there. Alright, so there's our Happy Birthday card. This circle I think should go over a little more this way. So if you're doing this card, make sure you punch out, I would go over just a hair more, like 1/4 of an inch more. And then there's that card. All right, so let's do our fourth card. This is actually my favorite card. I love the colors. It has this flip up here like this. All right, so we're going to start with a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock. It's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And we are going to cut this down. We're going to cut 2 inches off the front flap. Let's see. Alright, so I'm going to line this up at 2 inches here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to bring my trimming blade to the center here and line this up with that and cut down like that. And then we're going to, actually I think I want to do it this way. I want the 2-inch one on this side. I only want to cut off 2 inches. All right, and then we're going to cut this off. Okay. And then we're just going to come in with our scissors and trim this little bit of extra along this edge here. If you get a little bit of extra like that. Well, let's try doing it this way. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to add a piece of designer series paper to the center that's 5 1/4 by 4. I love this paper. Isn't that pretty? It has a little bit of pecan pie and berry burst. Really super pretty. Alright, so that goes there, and we're going to add a piece that's 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 designer series paper to our flap here. And I'm using a different pattern now. You can see that I cut this. This should be cut a little more right here, so I'm going to cut another 1/4 inch off. So I probably was right the way I first did it, but you want to go in, actually want to go in 2 inches, and then this should be let me see what that should be. Alright, this is 2 1/4, so we want it to be 2 by 5 1/4. Alright, 2 by 5 1/4. So we're going to go 5 1/4 by 2. It was like 1/4 inch too short. Yes. Okay. So that is going to go onto our Mossy Meadow flap. Alright, so now I have a piece of cardstock. We're going to have a little card that's 5 1/2 by 4. It's scored at 2 3/4, or you can fold it in half. And we're going to burnish that down like that. And we are going to adhere this on actually to the center, and the opening is going to be on the left. Alright, so just put it down and center it like that, and then this is going to be like that, okay? We have 2 pieces of basic beige, or 3 3/4 by 2.5. And we're going to take one of these and add a little bit of crumb cake around the edges. And I'm looking for my crumb cake. I'm sure I brought it over here. So I'd have it here. I'm not seeing. Oh, there it is. Alright, and I'm just using a sponge dauber. And I have a piece of scrap paper here. And I'm just going to load it up and burnish some of that off, or rub some of that off. I'm going to go around the edges to give it an antique-ish looking look. Alright, and I'm just going to softly put a little bit of it on there like that. Now, this is one of the die cuts in the dies. I love it. The leaves and the stems for a rose bush. So pretty. And I've used pecan pie cardstock for this. And again, in your kit, you would get the cardstock to die cut it. You would need the Charming Day stamp set and dies, the bundle, to make these cards. If you're a demonstrator, you could get the kits from me and the PDF tutorial for $30 if you don't want to place an order. Alright, and then there's another die. It's a simple rose. It's so pretty. And I've got just a 1-inch punch of, I think it's Bubble Bath cardstock, and I'm just going to adhere this onto the front of that so it shows through it. The pink shows through there. Okay, just like that, or at least through some of it. Let's add our dimensionals. Thank you, Inique. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Diane. The paper is, I'll have to look. It's coming out next week. It will be available next week. It's an online exclusive, and the bundle will be available next week. I believe Tuesday. The bundle is Charming Day, and I'll look and see what the paper is. Something charming. Okay, so, and I'll go back and add a little bit over there. Somehow I got it to fit on the other flower. Let me move this around a little bit. There we go. That's better. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere this down to my front flap like that. Okay, isn't that pretty? I think that's so pretty. And then this is going to go on the inside for the sentiment. Oops. just like that. And we're going to add a little sentiment. So I've got a scrap piece here. I'm going to stamp it on. It says you made my day. I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. Oops, that one didn't come out good. You made my day. I'm going to fussy cut this out. Go around here. Alright, and on the other card I had it down here. Well, I'm not crazy about the way this one looks here. You could put it up here, but again I don't, oh, actually, let's just stamp it on there. And I'll get this ink off here. I think it'll fit down there. Yeah, you made my day. There we go. We need some twine for a bow. And I usually do a double bow. Get rid of these here. This is linen thread. We're going to add that right there like that with a mini glue dot. Put that right there. All right, and let's add our gems. We'll do the berry burst. I will also have the tutorial for sale too if you just want to buy the tutorial. Okay, so this is the last card. It's a thank you. You made my day. This is the other card, and I'll show you the colored card here. Make sure you put your circle over farther, which I didn't in the white one. This is the second card. And the first card is a Bandstand card. And here is that card. Here it is in the burgundy. Blackberry Bliss. And the paper. Someone asked about the paper. Let's see. The name of the paper is Floral Charm. So, hey you guys, thanks for sticking it out with me today. Sorry I had kind of a rough start with the sound, and I'll be showing more of this week, and thank you so much. Take care and have a good night. Bye now.